Today in studio, we have a special guest, Tracy Tennant. Tracy's written a book called Confessions of an Ex-Mormon that's really helpful in dealing with some of the issues involved in leaving Mormonism, especially for new faith in Christ. And so we're going to talk about one of the things that we sometimes stumble with in that journey. We want to tell everybody the truths that we've discovered, but sometimes we can go about it the wrong way. And so let's talk about some of the pitfalls that we could encounter when we just want to make sure people understand what we've come to understand. It's meaningful to us. What are some of the ways that we can maybe go too far?
Focusing on the wrong aspect, because we have a twofold message. Mm-hmm. The one message is Mormonism is not what it claims to be. Mm-hmm. And then the other side of the coin is Jesus of the Bible. There's a distinction between him and the Jesus preached in the Mormon church. So come to the real Jesus. So there's the negative aspect and the positive aspect. And after we transition out of Mormonism, our inclination is to go with the negative side. We just want to tell everybody, warn everyone. We feel like we are on a personal mission to make sure everybody knows that Mormonism is false. Mormonism is this cult. Stay away.
Yeah, and both sides of that message are true, right? So it's something that people ought to know. Both of those people ought to know. But so what are some of the ways that maybe we go about sharing that message in the wrong way? Can you think of some specific errors that people might fall into in their zeal?
For me, after I left the church, I put together a formal exit story, as they call it. Made it into pamphlet form, we went to the Office Depot. I had hundreds of these. Carried them with me in the back of my car and handed them out like candy practically everywhere I went. If I heard somebody in the grocery store say something, oh wait, I've got something in my trunk. Hold on, I'll be right back. One time I was driving down the street and I saw a couple missionaries. There was a guy on the corner with a sandwich board selling something, whatever it was, and there were the missionaries talking to him, and it looked to me as if one of the missionaries had pulled a Book of Mormon out of his backpack and handed it to the guy. So right away I felt like, I've got to rescue this poor soul who's about to be converted to the Mormonism. So I drove the car around, parked in the parking lot, waited for the missionaries to leave, and then I'm like leaping over hedges to get to this guy. Walked through the foliage, flowers and everything, whipped out my little exit story, and I said, excuse me, were those Mormon missionaries talking to you? And he's like, yeah, they were. And I said, well, I'm a former Mormon, and that church is a cult. And you don't listen to what the missionaries told you, because they will not tell you the real story. They'll tell you things that sound all flowery and, on and on. The whole thing. And then I give him my story and my email address, and I say, you contact me if you have any questions. And he's kind of looking at me like,
crazy lady.
Is this some fanatic or what? But he faked me probably just to get me out of there, So I think that we can go overboard. We tell everyone, and whether they want to listen or not. Yeah. And that's the thing. A person, if they're going to be receptive, wait until they ask. Or if this is a relationship that's really important to you and they haven't asked, you can kind of nudge the conversation in that direction.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point. So again, it's an important message. People need to understand about Mormonism, about Jesus for sure. So what are some better ways to share? Some things you've learned about how to go about that so it's not just a continual rant?
I would say watch your tone.
Okay, tone is really
important.
Tone
is important. Your word choices are important. The way you describe the truths. Maybe, when you're talking about some of the falsehoods of Mormonism, you want to talk in an even tone, calm, mature, use the right words, not words
not inflammatory.
Don't be snide, don't be sarcastic. The other thing is, why did God give us 2 ears and 1 mouth? It's so that we listen twice as much as we speak. There's no reason that you can't be conversational with somebody, and realize that, look, you didn't leave Mormonism overnight. I mean, it might feel like overnight, but it was years of things being put on the back burner, on the back shelf, and it was over time, over the years, over, you know, learning one thing after another, that pretty soon that shelf gets so heavy that it collapses. So don't feel like this is the one and only time I have to say something.
Good.
Realize that you can be in a conversation with the person over the course of weeks or months. Ask them how they feel about the church, and then when they tell you, don't jump in right away with, oh well, you know.
Yeah, because I've learned over the years, the point is I want to communicate in a way that they'll hear what I'm saying, and so that means that there's certain ways that I have to communicate. I have to communicate gently. I have to communicate, you know, again, maybe without inflammatory language. We talk a lot about sharing the right truth at the right time. If we really want people to understand that truth, then, you know, there's a right time to say it and a right way to say it. Because my goal is not just to dump information. My goal is understanding and connection, so that they'll grasp what I'm saying.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to learn communication techniques. You might not be someone who maybe you're kind of an introvert, or maybe you grew up in an atmosphere where a lot of harsh words or arguing or whatnot. But these are skills that are easy to learn, and that's just ask questions. And then if somebody says a statement about why they believe the church is true, or for whatever reason, and just sit back and say, wow, that's really interesting. How did you come to that conclusion? Because then it feels like a dialogue to them, instead of, oh, she's just waiting to jump in there to, you know, counter attack what I said. But this way they feel safe. If they feel safe, they're apt to listen to what you have to say. They'll be asking for your opinion and how you came to your conclusions.
That's a great point. That's a great point. So, hey, listen, if you feel like you're kind of on a rant all the time right now, or other people around you feel that way, maybe you need to dial it down a little bit and learn what the Bible talks about in Proverbs, about a word that's fitly spoken, and some principles of communication, because it really is about sharing a wonderful, life-changing message in a way that people will hear it and understand it and hopefully receive it. So hopefully that's an encouragement to you today. Thanks for watching. Check out our other resources and the resources below, on the page below, and we hope this is an encouragement to you today.